We kicked off traveling this season in February, and so far we have had a blast at Taos and Monarch. In the last episode, we kept it relatively mellow and worked on skiing some easier trees and building confidence. But now, halfway through the lesson, we are ready to dial it up, starting with one of the steepest inbound runs in Monarch, JR's. While I have had plenty of experience with this level of steepness, and the snow was nothing less than perfection, I was feeling a little bit nervous after getting my butt kicked at Taos and having had that fall at Horseshoe Bowl a while back.
I feel like I've lost so much confidence since like my one fall. Yeah, but this snow looks great. Like it doesn't get any better than this, honestly. I just have to like get going. I think it's like the first turn is the hardest. This run.
That's funny, those last three that you did when the pitch changed, it absolutely changed what I was going to comment on.
Really?
So it's a little more reaching down laterally, right?
Okay.
You're kind of coming out forward and doing this like flick and flop. Try to just reach and then allow it to sort of crunch up as you extend around those turns.
I totally do the flick and flop.
Yeah. Reaching out to there and then going around.
Is that?
That's close. Just like dropping that shoulder a little more.
Drop it more, okay.
Yeah.
You guys, JR was sick. I loved it. Towards the top, the pitch was pretty steep, but it's like that really nice smooth consistency that I love, and it wasn't bumped out at the top. And the rest of the run, the bumps were really shallow, and it was still kind of steep, but not as steep as the top. It was magical. I loved it. I really didn't want to make that last turn.
So like that turn right there, see how your skis cut in like a foot above that next bump? Even though it's small, just try to extend out a little more and hit that bank, right? The more we can get our skis flat onto the snow, the less effort we have to use in our ankles and hips to try and bend them around a turn.
I see. Am I adjusting like where I'm turning, or more like how I'm doing it?
Yeah, kind of. You're being a little more patient and letting yourself slide a little bit more. But it is just sort of like managing your skis under you as you're letting the route itself go.
Okay.
And then just staying engaged downhill so you have that vision to know where you're going next. And then, you know, call it a quits if you aren't getting there, right?
Yeah.
There's definitely spots where I lose my path and then I'm like, all right, hockey stop, right? We're gonna pull out, find another line, and then ski that line.
Okay. Okay. I think I have a decent idea. He makes it look so easy.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I can make a turn this way. Yep. I don't know why I have like so much mental block with trees.
Just like with that mental block piece, right?
Yeah.
Focusing on the snow, right? Like I don't necessarily see a tree run as a bunch of trees I'm skiing through. I see it as a series of paths that I'm taking.
Yeah.
That are then like blocked off. So I'm gonna kind of jump into this one, come around that tree. You'll see me hopefully plant kind of right to the right of the tree and make that turn around it and then go around that next teeny little tree. Kind of like it's a gate on a slalom course.
Okay. Oh, that was definitely a jump turn, that first one. I lost it a little.
That's okay.
Towards the end.
That's why we're learning, right? I also have the advantage of having ski this like a lot.
Yeah.
There, see? You feel that, use that bump to create the direction of the turn.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Can I go from down there?
You can definitely ski under that tree. Go and jump it in. Boom.
This is what we normally look like in
So
trees.
here's where that, like, bringing that shoulder around comes into play, right? As you went through, you kind of let this one drop back, and that's going to change the relationship to the skis, right? It's going to start pointing them too far up that hill rather than across.
Okay.
So this is definitely a little bit more of that, like, classic EX style bumps, right? But it's the same thing still. We're still trying to aim for that outside, slow ourselves down to the top of the next bump, kind of make sure we're planting in the right places. So just like looking down this way, right? Where would you plant and turn here, Abigail?
I'd probably go this way a little bit and then...
Right, exactly. Because you're already on that base of support there.
Yeah.
You have some directionality that turn can give you. Once you get over that hump, you're in a trough already. That's going to point you across the hill. And then you're ready to make that next decision. You already have that second tree in your line of sight. You can see that there's a groove underneath it, so you know logically that that's where that next turn is going to want to push you, right? But that's where we have to learn to trust what the snow is going to do with our skis, right? Once we have that ability to rotate and keep our pressure down the hill, if we go into that trough, it's going to slow us down and give us direction by pointing us back up the hill, right? It's also going to give us like a kind of a slow down, a stomp pad that we can absorb into and then extend into our next turn while we rotate. And that will also then give us an out, right?
Yeah.
If I ski around both this tree and that next tree, then I have a clear path to get back over onto Mirage there, and then I can turn back into the trees if I want to. Or if I feel coming too hot here, I can cut across, go back out onto sheer-rocko, you know, slow myself down, and then turn back into those trees, right? It's as much about planning as it is about knowing how to use our skis to make that plan work.
I recently fell after I stopped and then started again. So now I have like, oh, this makes me kind of nervous, the first turn.
So start with a little side slip. Let yourself get onto the top of that bump. So you're trying to back up, let yourself go a little further down the hill.
Yeah, but I kind of want to go a little this way first. I don't know. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, this feels
Feel
better.
more comfortable. See how it feels a little more comfortable
Yeah.
right there. The bump has created flatness.
Okay, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this.
This one is really scary.
Yeah, I want to make sure I don't end up. Okay.
There you go. Side flip it out until you get that cross and then turn around.
Okay.
So this stuff, we are going in a little bit blind, right? So this is going to be
Yeah.
an exercise in looking for the white, right? Because if we get focused on the green, then we tend to run into it.
Yeah.
So we're going to take this really slow, a couple turns at a time, and just work our way through those nice kind of swooping turns, trying to get back across the hill, finding those gaps.
Okay.
Working on that rotation and turn.
Absolutely love the trees here. They are dense in some places, but for the most part, you can find a lot of spots all over the mountain where it's pretty sparse, and there are lots of ways to bail out on the side, and you can usually like always see a way out. And this is like very, very different from Taos, where it just feels like you're trapped. But also, you know, in the normal I-70 resorts that I go to, I feel like the trees are just a lot denser, or the area is bigger, so you don't really see a way out. So yeah, I'm really loving it. This was a great spot to work on trees. Dire Straits.
This is what I was saying. We got the slightly easier route, the slightly harder route, a much harder route.
Let's do the hard one.
We're going to go to that little knoll right there and then see where we want to go. We'll talk about jump races.
Okay.
that. Good, good.
That's a rock, isn't it?
There is a rock right there, yes. And there's a stump right there. My favorite route is down through this little gully. Because it's fun. That is pretty much your jump turn, right? You sort of slide into a point where you get about, 45-degree angle down the hill. And then you have to really twist and work it.
Okay, let me know what you think.
Yes, that was perfect.
I feel like it was really hard. Is that supposed to?
Yes, it's
okay.
really hard.
Okay.
It's a really hard skill. A great example of just like, all right, you got to start.
Yeah, I don't think I can do that. I think I just painted myself into a corner. There's a rock here too. Whew.
That pole reached out and kind of hop around the pole.
The tree is so close.
Okay, you're gonna go
Like here?
closer to your hip, right there. There you go.
Okay. Woo. Woo.
There you go. Excellent.
That was still a thrill, even though I didn't just send it like you did.
I love looking up what you just skied. You're like, how the hell did anyone do that? I did that. That's cool.
Woo!
You get a little too much pressure in the back seat.
It's awesome.
There you go. A little bit more ankle flex. A little bit more chin over that outside ski.
That tree was scary, right?
Yeah.
I feel like he just keeps his poles. So can I see where you think your arms are when you're actually skiing? Is it kind of like a
here-ish?
Here-ish, and then
I'm also getting small, so they come up, but then they
Right.
try to live right here.
but it's a little bit wide, a little bit wide too.
Yeah.
So you plant, and then what do you do with this one?
So it's less of a stab and more of a touch.
Okay, touch.
So that's where that flex out comes in, and then this one's just coming around.
Okay.
It's like if you do a 180.
But not swing around, just stay where it is.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a swing.
Okay,
It's
tiny
trying
bit.
to get forward.
Okay.
Nice air.
Whew.
Man. Big crash.
Wow, that was amazing.
Is that over that rock? Yeah.
No, he made a flip on the snow, but the skis didn't go off, so.
It's because his din setting's too high.
So, how does one start doing park?
Park is pretty simple after you try to get the initial aspect of it. You just gotta keep your skis pointed forward, lift your knees up, and then slam them back down when you land.
I see. Oh, is this where it ends?
This is where it ends for me, unfortunately. Because I have to go take down all of these fences.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Any parting wisdom?
The big thing is, as we've been talking about all day, and we talked about on the lift a little bit, is our hardest of the fundamentals, which there are 5 of, is fore and aft pressure, right?
Yeah.
The more we can stay balanced over the center, right? Distributing an equal amount of pressure along the length of the ski, the more we can get that counter rotation, get ourselves ready, going in the next turn, the more we can reach down the hill and engage down, the more success we're going to have in steep terrain. it's that counterintuitive motion 101 of like, oh, in order to do well at things that are scary because they point down very steeply,
Right.
we have to lean down though.
And so you say keeping your arms down and forward.
Down and
helps
forward,
with
but
that?
even more than down and forward is like reaching down and then bringing that pressure to where we want to be, right? Then adding that reach and then that extension. We're throwing our body down the hill, turning our legs underneath us, and then arresting that momentum as we move into our next turn.
Are there any tricks to like make jump turns easier, or is it just more practice?
Yeah, it's
More practice?
I mean, you can practice.
Like, is it just like you just have to jump up more?
It's that. It's pivoting off of the front of our skis. Which you can do to help that jumper turns,
Yeah.
right? Lifting the inside leg as you go around on any carved turn. All of that is going to help build muscles to bring our legs up underneath us and help us.
So you're not
rotate
trying
forward.
to like lift and turn, you're trying to only keep this one like anchored and just lift on
Yeah,
the,
pretty
on
much.
the back.
But like always pointing down the hill.
Interesting.
I mean, it literally, if I had more of a hill, it'd be easier. But it's, you know, going from here to there, and then. But it's hard to do when it's flat. You can't really rotate it around because you don't have much space to fall through. It's falling through space, is what it is. It's using the absence of any resistance to move your body around more quickly. Getting that reach with the fingertips, and then keeping that rotation forward more.
Am I the uphill hand? Am I like too back? Okay. Yeah.
And then like adding on to that, going from like you're kind of here to here.
Okay. Just
Right,
like
a little,
closer.
little
Okay.
narrower. It's easier for us to lift ourselves up with our glutes.
I see.
Because like, I mean, look at the difference. So let's stand here,
Yeah.
lift that uphill foot. That's hip flexor. Stand here, lift that foot is glute.
I see. That's
So it's
especially when we're doing steeps, right? Okay.
Very, very much. And bumps.
Okay.
'Cause you're right, you do have a narrow stance. It's not that much narrower. It doesn't have to be here. But it's right underneath that base of support.
I feel like we have a lot of gaps since we like did a ton of like learning by ourselves, you know? So, yeah.
Which
I'm glad
again,
we
there's
did
no
this.
right or wrong way, right? It's just what's more efficient.
Yeah.
And then to a certain extent, when we get into steeps, what's more safe.
Right. And parting wisdoms on trees.
Don't look at the trees. Like that's the big thing. You are following the little white ribbon, and if you lose the little white ribbon, stop. Right? We can always, unless you're in something where it's a terrain trap in backcountry and you're worried about avalanche danger, you can always stop.
I always feel like sometimes like my quads are really sore. Like, is it partly because I'm not forward enough?
Not forward enough.
Okay.
It should be the big burns, if you're skiing in correct form, should be calves and glutes.
You don't mind being on
Oh,
camera on YouTube?
No.
I can say
No, you're good.
go take a lesson with Kirby at Monarch.
You should.
Cool.
As long as people think I did a good job. My answer to all problems is ski more. Hungry? Ski more.
Yeah.
Tired? Ski more.
Cool.
You'll forget about it. All right. I got to get going. Thank you guys.
Thanks a
It's
lot.
been
Thank you.
an absolute pleasure.
I think we can maybe do a couple more.
You've got
Yeah.
time. We close the lifts close at 4, so
Okay.
you should
At least one.
roll.
Yeah. Thank you.
Have a good one. Good luck.
You too.
Nice try.
I thought that was a great session, and I enjoyed skiing with and learning from Kirby. Obviously, there are some limitation to how much you can actually learn and improve in 2.5 hours, but I found it really useful to get some weaknesses identified and build confidence skiing with an expert. There are quite a few things I now know to work on. My biggest takeaways include working on my pull plant, reaching a little further down the slope and less towards the front of my skis. I notice how much this helps balance me and keep me forward and aggressive in steeper terrain. And something I've known I need to work on for a while now that was reinforced in this lesson was to be more patient with my turns, on steep runs especially, and trust that I can control my speed. This second part is something that I will continue learning as our mid-season travels continue. Lessons only last a short period of time, but the things you learn might take a while to be digested and sink in. Overall, the lesson was really helpful, and as a bonus, we had a wonderful guide to a mountain we're not too familiar with.
we are at the end of our day here. We did a couple runs after the lesson, and yeah, I definitely feel like I learned quite a bit. I think just like the reaching, that one tip is changing a lot for me, which is really awesome. Yeah, I am so glad we stopped by Monarch on our way back to Denver. This has been a great day, even though we started at 1 o'clock. Thanks for watching. I will see you at Stevens Pass. Don't you guys love my helmet hair? Just popping on real quick to say that our instructor was great. His name is Kirby, and I will leave his contact info in the description below. I highly recommend him if you're a Monarch and you want to take a private lesson. Shoot him an email. All right, bye.